Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about the San Francisco computer programmer who was actually found in his crawl space right above his bathroom. So if you guys like these type of videos, don't forget to subscribe, like, and let's get to it. Christopher Woltell was a computer programmer in San Francisco. He had vanished without a trace for 5 weeks before they ended up finding him. They ended up finding him in a 3-foot high crawl space right above his bathroom. It was hidden from plain view. They ended up having to cut into the ceiling to be able to retrieve him, and he was 50 years old at the time. On January 13th is when his mother had reported him missing because she hadn't heard from him since January 9th. What's really weird is before his disappearance, he started sending his family really paranoid messages about all the riots that were happening in Washington on January 6th. Saying that he wanted to disappear to the mountains in isolation and be away from it all. And one of his childhood friends actually said that he was inquisitive, adventurous, a voracious reader, and extremely smart. He says at a very young age he showed compassion for the vulnerable, including animals, and it was a quality that continued into adulthood. He was a gentle soul with a very big heart. Everyone who remembers him fondly. He will be missed. One of his neighbors said that he ended up helping him get medical help when everything was in lockdown, when one of his kidneys ended up failing, and he was avid in helping with the homeless. Okay, so this is where it gets a little bit weird, but in the days leading up to his disappearance, like I said, he was getting paranoid and sending these messages. He was also on Facebook writing really unusual posts. Was asking for money to replace a lost cell phone, and on January 8th he was also posting about hearing these loud explosions right outside of his house, and he was saying how he felt really unsafe. And then only hours before he was reported missing, he told a friend that a man on a loudspeaker passed by in a car urging everyone to get out of town. He texted his friend and said, "Do me a favor and put money in my account. $75 isn't going to get me anywhere." And then soon after is when he stopped taking calls and stopped responding. Now, as I said earlier, he was a really giving and selfless man. He ended up becoming friends with a homeless man who went by the name of Bood, B-O-O-D. Family and friends say that Christopher invited him to stay at his apartment when he was recovering from a leg injury. Friends and family of Christopher believe that Bood may be able to answer the question of what happened to him. Over the course of their friendship, Bood became really obsessed in a romantic way with Christopher, but Christopher didn't share those feelings toward Bood. Now, even though Christopher didn't feel the same about Bood, he would allow Bood to stay the night because he was homeless. He felt bad for him. He wanted to help him. He frequently gave him money and also paid his phone bills. His friends say that he would waste his bank account on whatever Bood wanted or needed. They also say that he would freak out when he didn't give Bood whatever he wanted. They say that he was allured by Bood, though. He had a dominant presence, and he was very interested into the occult and Satanism. His friends actually warned him that one day Bood could turn on him. And on January 7th at 9:54 p.m., less than 48 hours before he went missing, surveillance footage caught Bood entering his apartment. Next day, January 8th, the surveillance caught him leaving at 5:45 a.m. But between January 8th and 9th, there's no surveillance footage of him entering or leaving. Here's where it's really strange. The night before Christopher went missing, Christopher messaged Bood on Facebook. Bood had been using Christopher's Facebook to be able to send messages to people that Bood knew. Christopher wrote this, and I quote, "You fucking asshole, done, that's it, enough, you are on your own," he wrote. "You have gone too far and too much trouble. Phone number, get your own. I'm not paying for you to harass people. You are an asshole, don't ever come here again." Bood did not respond, and then Christopher went missing. Then, eerily enough, January 29th, Bood had wrote on his Facebook that he heard Christopher had been jumped and robbed for his computers. Also added that Christopher was killed by people named Nigel, Alonzo, and Eric. Then this is where the private investigator comes in. The morning of February 2nd, he ended up visiting Bood at like a homeless shelter. But the private investigator somehow knew that Bood was in possession of Christopher's cell phone, and he asked Bood why he had it. Bood claimed that Christopher sold it to him for $100 when he visited him on January 7th. Friends and family believe that Bood had stole it from him like he has done before in the past. And when Bood showed the detective his phone, it was dead and wet. And this is where it gets a little bit weird. He tells the private investigator that he has psychic abilities and that he was found with a shot in his head and that he was wrapped in plastic and dumped in the bay. And the private investigators asked Boo why he thought this, and he said because they robbed him for his computers. But what's weird though is the private investigator has his doubts that Bood could have done this because he could barely walk, so there was no way that he could hurt Christopher and get him up in that crawl space. The story is really, really interesting, and there's a lot of twists and turns, and it kind of makes you wonder, did he do it to himself? Did Bood do this to him? It's really just strange, but you just really can't trust anybody, and it's sad when you try to be a good person and you try to help and people take advantage of you, because this is one of those cases. So I want to know what you guys think. Do you think the homeless guy Bood did it? Do you think he did it to himself because he was depressed? I want to know what your guys' thoughts are. Why did he have his phone? That's what I don't understand. It's just so weird. So I want to know what you guys think. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you soon.